Tangwe Doji Shajir Zundro, Junjamado, Duja Bonjamba, Surjalumbo, Tavrajibaga, Jaja Jabu, Jadungo Jans, Dorjan Janjan de lo Naroda, Mabamala, Juja Gamboba, Bamodreva, Javandagumba, Kajula Monanja, Tajunja, Donadana Zera Tanja, Lamala Bela, Jesus. La son yon den jam zung a la wan den de don jen de be ge le zo da ge lo ju son do war zun je la do zo ju a lam don do war zun je la do zo lan chu a se war zun je la do tu ba yi ji zun ja war zun je la do zo ba me ba je me ba je ba me ba da me ba on me ba ro Ta de do me de je me zhu ban ye je je dan ba zu ba san je ma nan je dan ba de la xiang za de zhen qian za ba la ma je je gu zong do je si ma da 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 ge ju lan be de da ge den ba dan sun je je dong ja jian ba zhu ba xin je la de zo Today, this teaching is on 21 Taras. Since last Sunday, I started to teach on this subject. That before any kind of practice, we have to generate bodhichitta for the sake of all mother sentient beings. And we motivate bodhichitta before practice. Then this practice will purely become cause of future Buddha. Right now we have a precious human life, which means we are almost ready to become Buddha, honestly, if we really practice well in this life. To become Buddha means basically liberate from the samsara. So bodhicitta is very important to become Buddha, and also after became Buddha, still bodhicitta is necessary. In our mind has bodhicitta. Externally, there is some obstacles, but still internally bodhicitta helps a lot. So bodhicitta is our best friend, and bodhicitta is our best thing. Buddha is the best thing, but still not with us in the view of relative truth. and the view of ultimate truth, Buddha is with us, but bodhicitta is best thing for us because it is with us in the samsara, right? So, and usually when you have a facing problem, then someone who help you, that person is your best friend. When you have facing problem, and usually you have many best friends, but when you have some facing problem, they reject you, it means actually it cannot say that person is your best friend. Similarly, in bodhicitta helps in this samsara. That's where bodhicitta is our best friend. And then I will teach on these stories. These stories really helps because the stories help to connect with subject. I mean, it's really, oh, Tara really helps kind of this way, kind of that way. So I must follow, I must take refuge, Tara, like that. So it will help. So anyway, last Sunday I taught 9 more stories about fear of 16. So today is the 10th. The 10th story demonstrates how Tara protects from the fear of ocean waves. Once there were many merchants. Recently we call business, right? Business people, but merchants who were crossing the ocean in 3 ships. They arrived at a place where there were jewels and their fields. One ship with jewel, and they went on later. They arrived at a place where there was a lot of sandalwood, and they filled another boat with it. Then they turned back towards their homeland, but the honor spirit, the mountains has honor spirit. We call the mountain gods, right? And the ocean and all the elements has the honors. Then the honor spirit of the jewels and the sandalwood, which threatened to destroy the ships. The merchants supplicated to many worldly protectors day and night during that time. But the ship carrying and the sandalwood broke open, and the sandalwood was carried away by their main ship almost sink. Among the merchants, there was one Buddhist who was in the king's treasury. Oh, if he stole from others, maybe he will get them, but we'll see what happened with that. While he was there, he saw a jug of alcohol, jug of alcohol, jug, and he drank it all, and he become uh, intoxicated, and then fell asleep. Then king's guards found him, of course. So they bound him, punished him severely, and threw him in prison. So he was suffering terribly and had no other refuge. So he supplicated Tara from the mirror of his bones. When we supplicate, we have to supplicate from the mirror of our bone. Only from lips, tongues supplicate. Still, it has merit, it has benefit, but we need a very great benefit. So it's we have to supplicate from the mirror of our bones. Then a 5-colored bird flew into his prison. Sails from the sky above. Sail, I think it's called sail. The bird untied ropes that bound him. And he saw that the door of his sail was open. And then he escaped and went back to his home. That night he had a dream of a beautiful lady wearing a dress of some 5 colors as the bird. She said to him, if you are grateful for my kindness, then you and your band of 500 thieves to give up stealing. Then the next morning, he, with his band of 500 thieves, give up stealing and become great practitioner. Tara helped him like that way. Then the 15th story shows how Tara protects from the fear of haughty spirit. There was a forest where 500 fully ordained monks were meditating tranquilly. One day the messengers of the guardian of the eastern direction, guardian of eastern direction, who was uh, haughty spirit, came upon these monks practicing in the forest. Uh, he displayed some magic and showed the monks different face, different face of ghosts and women and so on. Some of these monks became upright. Some of them went crazy. Some of them fell. Right, fell. Of them fell unconscious. Some died, and some broke their vows. Among them, one monk remembered Tara, and so this was the obstacle of the haughty spirit. And remember her power to protect. Remember Tara's power to protect. He wrote, "This is Tara's forest," on a piece of wood, and hung it from a branch. After that, hot spirit and its magical disturbances disappeared. So that's we still doing that. We write some mantras on the stone, on the wood, and somewhere. So it will help. It will protect. Even though it purify their harmful motivation. So sometimes when we go through the ocean, there are many sand, right? Sand. We write some mantra. It has great benefits. Whoever see that mantras, fish and any other animals see those mantras, it has great benefit. Sometimes we write some mantras on stone and put in the water, and then it has also great benefit. Sometimes we wrote the mantras on the wood, like this monk did, and then hang up on the trees or somewhere. I mean, if it is allowed at that area, it's very good. And also in Tibet, traditionally in the winter, we have ice. Water became frozen, and then we bring sand, and then we write mantras on the ice. We call them build the golden bridge, golden bridge. We called it golden bridge. So different mantras, we write different mantras. Longevity, Tara, Amitabha, Chinreze, and so on. So it has a great benefit, but we have to use our wisdom. If that area, that location does not allow to write then we don't want to write. If that area and that location allow to do that, then we write with our bodhichitta. It has a great benefit for other lives. Also, it protects from the many obstacles, nature disasters, and so on. Also, we can say this is a liberation mantra. Liberation means sometimes we went to the holy place and we see this holy place and then we join our hands together at the heart and then we supplicate something. At that moment our mind is tranquil, our mind become peace, so the momentarily liberated from the suffering. So which means holy places are also liberation, liberator. Holy places are liberator from the sufferings. Then in the 14th story, Tara protects from the fear of chains, right? Chains. Chain. I think that's called chain. Yes, chains. Once there was a spiritual teacher named Tibetan called Lai Singye. So if I try to say it in English, Lai Singye, Lion of God, Lion of God, God of Lion, yeah, God of Lion. But his name is Lai Singye. So he was famous scholar of Buddhism, and he traveled to different places to teach. And one time he went to a new place that had another religion. Still, he was very popular, and the king of that land thought that Lai Singye, the spiritual teacher, would convert all his people to Buddhism, and his own religion would disappear. So he captured Lai Singye and said to him, if you give up your 3 jewels, 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, right? I will release you. If not, I will kill you. That king said that. And then Lai Singye, the spiritual teacher, said to the king, even if you kill me, still I will not give up the 3 jewels. Then the king bound him with metal chains and had him thrown in the dungeon. Then Lai Singye supplicated his yidam, who was Tara. The metal chain then transformed into flower garlands, and goddesses appeared, offering him flowers, and he heard spiritual music. The king also heard the sound coming from the dungeon, and he went there to see what was happening. He saw the flowers garland around Laisinge instead of metal chain. So the king had the monk bound with 7 layers, right? 7 layers of metal chains, and even this transformed into flower garland. The king was heartfully surprised. Yeah, of course. And made Laisinge, the spiritual teacher, his spiritual teacher. He keeps his teacher. Sorry, that story I say 15, right? It was 14. And then 15th story shows how Tara protects from the fear of poverty. Once there was a poor Brahmin who was traveling on the route. He came to a Tara's statue and he shared his suffering with the Tara statue. The statue pointed him in the direction of a stupa. He went there and dug in the ground nearby stupa. Dig past dug, right? He dug by a stupa, and first he found silver and then jewels. So Tara liberated him from the suffering of poverty. Then the last story of the how Tara protects from the 16 fears. The 16th story demonstrates how Tara protects from the fear of punishment of king. Once there was a wealthy family that lived close to the royal palace. The king grew unhappy with this wealthy family. And made the head of the family uncomfortable often. So that means he's jealous, right? He's jealous. He feels jealous. And for that reason, he made some uncomfortable things often to be there. So this man took some of the other objects with him and moved his family to new place. He moved. The king found out and sent four people who bound him and brought him back, which means king punished him, right? Punished him. While this was happening, the man supplicated Tara, and Tara blessed him. They put him in the dungeon, but outside there was a rain of flowers. So this king sent four people. These four people bound him, and then put him in the dungeon. But through Tara's blessing, then outside rain with flowers, right? The king saw the flowers, and through this man must have a great merit. He thought how wonderful, and made this man minister instead of punishing. So this case we have to, perhaps you think, oh, it's just tell stories, may not happen, that may happen like that. It's possible in your mind, but number one is everything's are interdependent, each other's interdependent. And the main thing is karma. These stories, perhaps you heard first time today, perhaps you already heard about this story. But from my side, what I think about these stories is it really happened. It was happened. And also, some of these people made some mistakes through this way. Then many people's behavior changed. For instance, 500 thieves' behavior changed through one person's action. So kind of these things are bodhichitta's activities. Bodhichitta, they have great method, great wisdom. So how they can help others. They know how to help others. So through different ways they help. So everything's are true. If you don't, I don't mean you should believe on this story. It's 100% in your hands. But you believe these stories or you not believe in this story, it's big different. If you believe in this stories, through this way, then you can believe in Tara protects you. Tara must protect you. If you do not believe these stories, still you can trust Tara, but I don't know exactly how much strong your belief. I mean, I don't know means I don't have perception of your mind. So by this way, I can say, but through the logically, if you believe kind of these stories, I'm sure you can be strong believing in Tara. Believe in Tara. So belief is very important during the practice. Yidam deities and any kind of practice. And it's possible sometimes in our life it will happen like that, and then we remember these stories. Oh, that time Tara protected like this time protect like that. That's when no, I have this facing problems, so I'm going to supplicate Tara. So that's where I think it will help like that through this way. Um, so until now, we finished the stories of the 16 fears. There are also 8 great fears in addition to the 16 fears. But different texts have different explanations of each of them. The 8 great fears are included in these stories. I have taught last Sunday and today. But actually, there are more than 8 and 16 fears. And the Tara protects from all of them if we practice well. And actually, all the yidam are non-dual, but people who practice Tara have gotten special signs. For example, once there was an old woman who established a Tara statue at Bodh Gaya. After she did that, she had some regret, because she had this regret is not bad regret, but let us know because she had made the statue with its back to the stupa of Bodh Gaya. So she went on regretting this, and finally the statue spoke to her. It says, if you would like me to face the stupa, I will. And then the statue turned its face to the stupa, and it became known as the turning face Tara. There are other many stories, but I think it's I bring only this story here. Then Tara is also the yidam of many gurus. There are many stories, like for example, how Tara protected His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche 8 times. He has explained about this numbers of times. Then Nagarjuna and Atisha, they both relied on Tara. Also, the Buddha said, Namo Bhagavati Tara, you are the protector from the harms of ghosts, starvation, lion, and mad elephants, poisonous snake, fire, robbers, and chains. The Buddha said that. So in the ultimate view, Tara is Parinjana Parimita, and in the relative view, she is an emanation of Avalokiteshvara and our protector. Okay. Now I will begin the main text, the praise to Ayatara in 21 verses of homage. We always pray these 21 taras, but if we understand the meaning of this, I think it is very important. So say Om. Uh, Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Okay. So with this line, we pay respect to Ayatara and invoke her blessing. Om is the representation of Ayatara's body, speech, and mind. So Om has combination of three letters, usually. Then Arya means being beyond samsara and nirvana. Arya means. And prostrating from the 8 and 16, protecting from the 8 and 16 fears. Transcendent means purified of the two obscurations and completely liberated. Prostration is a way to respect with, a way to pay respect with the humility, humility. Thank you, humility. The Tara, okay, homage, okay. Then second line, I think. Homage Tara swept, heroic, swept, heroic eyes like lightning, instantaneous, sprung from opening stemmings of the Lord of Three Worlds, world's tear-born lotus. Tear-born. So the swift, right? Swift indicates a boundless compassion. Heroic means brilliant wisdom. Eyes like lightning, instantaneous, represents the wisdom that sees all that exists. Sprung, right? Sprung from opening statements of the Lord of Three Worlds, tears-born lotus. It means she is born from the Dharmakaya into Nirmanakaya. Okay. More literally, this verse describes how Tara liberates from the suffering of samsara with fast activities and protects from the fears, and how she was born from a tear of Avalokiteshvaraya. So I brought these, I bring here, I teach this. Actually, this is a Vajrayana practice, right? Taras. But there is a, we can say, actually I'd say more literally, perhaps we can say according to the Sutara. But I try to bring all for the sake of students who would like to practice detailedly. So then that's when we visualize this Tara, see her as red color. See here is red color, slightly wrathful and smiling. Smiling. Her expression is a beat, right? Bite, B-I-T, bite, uh, desirous. She has one face and two arms, and is seated on a lotus. One face and two arms, seated on the lotus, right? On the lotus, moon and lotus and moon disk. Her right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity. And her left is in the mudra of protection, holding our stems of lotus. On the flower of the lotus, there is a red coil conch on that flower. Her red color expression that the power of her bodhichitta conquers everything beneath her. This Tara specifically increases bodhicitta mind and conquers appearances. Right now, we cannot conquer appearances, right? We see something, then we follow. Oh, this is that, those. And we hear something, we follow. Oh, that is those. But then to practice Tara, it will help us, and because she conquers appearances. She is called fast courage one. Fast courage one. So the first verse. Then second, for the second verses, homage, she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rise, resplendent as 1,000 stars collection. Here the autumn moon refers to the bindu. So I quite okay. So autumn moon refers to the bindu. The bindu is the root of bodhicitta. The 1,000 stars collection signifies the 1,000 of channels full of bindu, like garland stars reaching from the crown to the secret place. Where is going? Okay. Yes. More literally, this Tara is beautiful and white like the full autumn moon. This Tara is for improving wisdom. And then when we visualize this Tara, see her as white color, is seated on the lotus and moon disk. She has one face and two arms. Her right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity, and her left hand is protection mudra, holding the stem of a lotus. On the lotus blossom is a mirror which has a she syllable in the center. That she radiates light to all mother thinking beings, making them more intelligent. All mother thinking beings, which means way of bodhichitta, but it's a main benefit to get the practitioners who practice. If you do not practice, then it's quite hard to say you will receive these blessings, this benefit, right? So this Tara specifically increased the power of wisdom. She is called Saraswati. Tibetan called Yangjima, maybe. Yangjima, right? Yangjima. Okay. Then third verse, homage, golden blue one lotus, water born in golden blue one lotus, water born in hand adorned, giving effort, calm, austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Her water-born lotus signifies the security place. Right? The hand refers to the Vajra. In order to this, talking about the wisdom and the method, right? The lotus adorned the hands represents the union of method and wisdom. Her austerities refers to discipline, one of the six perfections. So that during the union, the bindu is not lost. During the union, staying one-pointedly on bliss is meditation. To never be separated from that bliss is diligence. And to recognize this bliss as emptiness is wisdom. That in this wisdom, all happiness and sufferings are equally one test, is patience. Giving means letting go of egoistic grasping of bliss and purifying the I's grasping. Make sense? More literal, right? More literal. Holding stem of a golden blue lotus in her hands, established 6 paramitas. Yeah, that's all. During the visualization, see her as yellow color, for giving great siddhis. Giving great siddhis. She is seated on a lotus and a moon disk. She has one face and two arms. Her right hand is in mudra of supreme generosity, and her left hand is in protection mudra, holding the stem of lotus on the lotus. Yeah, on the lotus is a wishful feeling jewel. Wishful feeling jewel, which radiates lights and liberates mother sentient beings from poverty. Poverty. This Tara specifically increased merit. She is called excellent giver of merit. Giver of merit. Okay. Number fourth verse. Homage crown of Tathagata's actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Her crown of Tathagatas means that the essence of the five aggregates dissolves into the crown. Actions triumph without limit means that the ordinary wins. Mind and channels disappeared, and there is triumph over all relative phenomena. Relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection means that all perceptions have transformed into luminosity, and she reached the level of Dharmakaya. And all the bodhisattvas took her support. In more literacies, sayings, she was born from Buddha's Ushinisha. She was born from Buddha's Ushinisha, and she achieved the 10 perfections. So bodhisattvas took her as a support. When visualizing this Tara, see her as golden colored. She blesses us with a long life. She is seated on lotus and moon disk. She has one face and two arms. The right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity, and the left hand is in the mudra of protection, holding the stem of a lotus. On the lotus is a longevity vase full of essence of nectar of long life, which all mother sentient beings receive, especially practitioners. This Tara specifically increase life. If we need long life, then we have to practice Tara. She is called Ushnisha Vijaya. Vijaya. Then 5, homage, feeling with tutare, hong, desire, direction, and space, trampling with her feet the 7 words, able to draw forth all beings. Her feeling, I think feeling, right? It's feeling, feeling. Feeling with the two Tara means the Tara is completely observate. I think that's called observate. Observed. Observed. Absorbed. Observed. Observed with compassion for Mother Sentient beings. Hong signifies her unchangeability in the Dharmadhatu. Desire indicates the secret chakra, and the space refers to what is beyond the thoughts and words. What is beyond thoughts and words. Trampling with her feet, the 7 volts, able to draw forth all beings. Her trampling with her feet means it's I think it's same meaning. Kundali and Bindu maybe same meaning, may not feels. Kundali feels the 7 words. Her 7 words means the 5 chakras and the point between the 2 eyes, 2 eyeballs, and the opening at the bottom of the skull for the spinal cord. Where is that? Spinal cord? Yeah, it's directly the tip of nose. Then the line able to draw for all beings indicates the movement of Kundali through these 7 chakras. In a more literally sense, Tara conquers the 7 words, which are the hell. They have different countings a little bit, but I think it's including here. So, hell, hungry ghosts, animal, human, demigods, and gods realms, and Pardo. Trampling with her feet means these beings are drawing out of the 7 realms. During the visualization, see this Tara as red colored. She is seated on the lotus in a moon disk. She has 1 face and 2 arms. Her right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity. Her left is in mudra of protection, holding the stems of lotus in its bow and arrow, which radiate light that conquers the 7 worlds. This Tara specifically magnetites. She is called Gurukuli. Gurukule. Okay. Now we have 6, right? Homage worshipped by the all lords, Shakara, Agni, Barma, Maruta, honored by the hosts of spirits. Corpse raisers, corpse raisers, Gindharavas, Yakshas. Okay. Chakra. Yakshas last, right? So Shakara means earth element. Agni, water element. Brahma, fire element. Maruta means wind element. The essence of these elements dissolves into the Kundali at the center of chakras. So still, right now we named these are elements gods, but then we go in the Vajrayana more deep, then they have some names, but we will okay with only this part, okay? Corpse, right? Corpse, razors means Bendu right now, and Gindharavas means internal winds. Yaksha means Kundali, worshipped by the old lords means all of these they dissolve into Bendu. In a more literal sense, the first 2 lines show all these lords praise and offer to Tara. When visualizing this Tara, see her as reddish black, and she helps to remove obstacles. She is seated on a lotus and moon disk with one face and 2 arms. Her right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity, and her left hand is in mudra of protection. Holding the stem of lotus on the lotus is crossed vajra with whom at the center from the crossed vajra come fire sparks which protects from the ghosts and obstacles. This Tara specifically destroys Maras. She is called the Great Slayer of Death. Great Slayer of Death. Okay. 7th. Homage with her tide and peg sound destroying force. Magic diagrams, right? Her feet pressing left out, right in, blazing in raging fire blaze. Raging fire blaze. Her tide means cutting. Pet means pet signifies sensation. So, from the ultimate view, ordinary thoughts, ordinary karma, and ordinary afflictive emotions are cut and cease and are there be purified. Thus, the false magic diagrams are destroyed. Her feet praising means signifies the two side channels. Pressing into the bottom of the central channel. It's meaningful, right? Do you think? When you recite the 25 Taras, what did you, how to say, image? I ask through a camera. uh, have you ever imaged like that? Or actually, through bodhichitta, you recite, excellent. But right now we explain on there, we are learning on there, then we have to know. I don't mean you don't know, but some of you know, some of you first time maybe, may not. Then, okay, pressing into the bottom of the central channel. Her left foot out refers to the left channel, and her right foot in refers to the right channel. The raging fire blaze indicates Tummo practice. Tummo everybody knows. I think everybody like it. Wherein the inner fire blazes up and the bindu comes down. During the Chakasambhara, we have same thing here. Chakasambhara practice, we have like that. So this purifies the ordinary body in a ordinary body. This, yes. In a more literal sense, tide and peg repel the black magic of enemies. Her feet pressing down left out and right in signifies her conquering all distractions and obstacles. The fire blazing around her body also means that that obstacles are being destroyed. Her visualization, when visualizing this Tara, see her as wrathful black color. Behind her circles wisdom fire. She is seated on the lotus and moon disk. She has one face and two arms. Her right hand is in mudra of supreme generosity. Her left hand is in protection mudra, holding the stem of the lotus. In the center of the lotus is a, how to say it, dagger, surrounded by fire flames, which burns egoistic mind. Manjushri always holds, I think it's a dagger or knife. This is representation of wisdom, right? And then cuts the egoistic mind of ignorance. And then this Tara specifically protects against lightning, lightning. Lightning, am I correct? Lightning from the clouds, right? And war, war, war. She is called Tummo, uh, undestructible, wrathful female. Indestructible, wrathful female. Female, female. Okay. Number 8. Oh. Uh, Probably we stop here. In order to, we cannot finish today. So I need another next Sunday. So uh, we will recite one time, and then today we stop here, and we will study next time again. And very please, you have that, right?
Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage, Tara, swift, heroic, eyes light lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of three worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Homage, golden blue, one lotus, water porn in hand adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage, filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage, worshipped by the all lords, Shakra, Agni, Brahma, Marut, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her trait and paith sounds, destroying foes' magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage to a very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart, her fingers adorn her with three-jewel mudra, light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage, she so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's devas. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her whom sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with crescent, moon all ornaments most shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she mid wreath ablaze like aeon ending fire abiding. Right stretched, left bent, joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the seven levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana, she endowed with Om and Swaha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, These with whom and knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters, homage to Re with seed letter, of the shape F syllable, whom by foot stamping shakes the 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya, homage holding in her hand the hair-marked moon of Deva lake form, with twice spoken Tara and Pit, totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor, armored in all joyful splendor. She dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose 2 eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and 2 Tare. She dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating, powered by the set of 3 natures, destroys hosts of spirits, yakshas, and raised corpses supreme ture. These praises with the root mantra, and prostrations thus are 21.
Jambal Bave Jedan Jamba Dang Kunda Sambo Deyan Dejan Dedai Genje Jizo Dalo Je Gewan Dedai Tamje Rabdo Ngo. May every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all the sickness that afflicts the living be instantly and permanently healed. Thank you very much. Yes, I'll see you at 1 o'clock for meditation.